we are here in an apartment complex, very nicely decorated, very cozy.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, you're welcome. I'm joined with.
I'm Shay Josettis. I am the owner of UglyAssEmbroidery.
Embroidery. And quick shout out to my homie Ferris for linking us up.
Thanks, Ferris.
If you ever watch this. Dang, anyways. Yeah, so talk about your embroidery company. What got it started?
Ooh, yeah. It was a total accident how I got started. Just like graduated university, was bored, wanted to just like express myself creatively, but like wanted to try something new at the same time. And then like any young millennial, you have to post everything that you do on the gram. So I made a page and it like took off so fast. I was like not expecting it. I was like, there was tattoo artists that were like commissioning me for things. And I was like, these are real artists. Like, I'm just a fake artist. Like,
Well, not fake, but like smaller.
yeah, exactly. And it was just something that I like totally wasn't trying to do. So it was just for fun. And then I started doing clothes, just like t-shirts and sweaters, which is what I do now. And I really like didn't think this was going to be a business. I thought I would go back to school, for marketing, do more of like what I was already doing.
Like a master's degree or something.
Yeah, like, or even just like more of a like co-op kind of situation where I could like do more on the job stuff, but it didn't work out that way. I was like, after I started this, I couldn't see myself doing anything else, so just, yeah.
Interesting. And you went with embroidery. Did you ever think of going into like printing onto the shirts, or was it always you wanted that like raw, I made this myself kind of thing?
I think that like at the beginning, it was so easy to just like buy a needle and thread. Like you didn't need any equipment. You could just like kind of get started. So I don't like everything I used to do was all by hand. And like after a long time, I made the decision to like buy equipment for it. Just because like it felt like such a commitment, and I was like, well, I could just like buy like 5-cent needles and like do that. So it was always just like the accessibility of it rather than like going to a studio and like finding equipment and people that knew how to do it. Like, yeah.
Okay. So, and what made you go with the Ugly brand? Like, was this like on purpose because you're like, oh, my thing's shit, so like I'm gonna go the shit route, or did you actually have like a pure talent for this and you're like, this is a cool aesthetic, I've not seen this anywhere, let's make this a thing?
I think the ugly thing came from not wanting to take myself too seriously. I didn't want people to think that like, who is this chick that's like doing this, like she's not all that. Like she's just, I was just like playing around, right? So I just wanted to keep it easy and like low expectation. So
But I mean now there's a high expectation, so
is there?
I mean I've seen a lot of people were like recommending it, and before I even like got in contact with you, I saw so many people, like some models I've worked with, wearing your stuff. I was like, huh, interesting. And then I got in contact, I was like, wow, I just literally saw this girl like everywhere just 5 minutes ago or 10 days ago. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a high demand.
I think because everything was like such an accident that I like didn't really think about it in like a branding perspective. And like now I'm happy I went that route, but there's also things that like I'm kind of like, ugh, like it doesn't work for everything. Like UglyAssEmbroidery works for like your Instagram and like, but like it doesn't work for like a certain age demographic and like that sort of thing. So it's like harder to branch out almost because of it. And also like Instagram doesn't like let you advertise with any swears in your name. So like I'm fully like organically trying to make it happen. So I wish sometimes that I would have had a branding like strategy in mind,
beforehand, yeah.
but like it wasn't supposed to be like this. So
You said Instagram doesn't let you do stuff with swear words. It's funny. Have you ever thought of like making a way around that, like making people go to your website for the more risque, quote unquote, stuff?
it sucks because it's like literally my name. Like it won't let me advertise with my name, so I would like have to change it to like ugly butt embroidery or like Instagram is so annoying with that stuff. Like
I hear like hump day, the hashtag,
oh really?
is banned. It's like if you use that hashtag, you're probably not gonna get as much views as you thought you were gonna get before.
I'm sure there's like so many things like that. When you like do your shop through Facebook and Instagram, I have a lot of stuff with like designs on the boobs, and I have to call it the upper chest area because Instagram doesn't let you advertise boobs.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, come on, it's
like,
boobs.
It's boobs. Like, there are men boobs as well.
I know. I don't really understand why that's a bad word,
That's
but
funny, yeah. Darn it, Instagram.
I know.
Screwing a business. Anyways,
Yeah.
further from that, you said this was something you did after graduating. So what were you doing in school?
I was taking marketing,
Okay.
and I really liked that. I had no intention of like starting small business. All my small business classes I hated. I hated like making marketing plans. I hated like all of the like structural stuff that goes into a business. I was like annoyed by.
I feel that.
So when it like kind of happened accidentally, like literally no planning was put into it. Which is like probably not what people want to hear. They're like, oh, that's like really helpful, Shay.
It's kind of like ironic because it's marketing, but then you're like, I don't want to really market myself because I'm not taking myself as seriously. But then it's like, maybe I should take myself more seriously.
Exactly. And it's like, at what point do you decide like, oh, I'm like doing this now? Like, so that was always like kind of in the back of my head. I guess now I'm like past that now because I am pretty much self-sufficient on this. So I like have a part-time job, but I'm working there like 1 day a week. So now I kind of have to take it seriously. Yeah. But marketing was a great start.
Do you think anything you learned from that like helped you even like the slightest bit with what you're doing now, or?
I think it did. You know what's funny? I actually think my classes that weren't like marketing based helped me the most because at the U of L you have to take like various business courses. So like
liberal education.
Yeah. So like my accounting courses like helped me a ton. My like stats courses, like that sort of stuff that I wouldn't have kind of like been able to grasp onto organically really helped me a lot.
Okay. Awkward pause moment right here because I don't know what to say now.
That's okay. I like the font on your shirt. It reminds me of the font on my shirt.
Actually, that's true. This is my friend's band Gutter King. Shout out to Gutter King, I guess.
Shout out to Gutter King.
They're in their chapter 2, probably when this video is released, and yeah.
I've matched with multiple members of that band, so.
Okay. Interesting.
It's not that interesting. They're all really awesome, so.
Yeah, they're cool. We've done an interview with them too.
Yeah.
But sidetrack.
Not really about embroidery.
Back to the awkward pause. Let me think. Oh yeah, do you see yourself doing like? Obviously, you said you're keeping this low key and stuff, but do you see yourself ever doing like brand stuff? Like if Champion reaches out to you and you're like, "Yo, we want your shit on our shit," would you ever see that as a thing, or like would you like how do you grasp that?
Yeah. I like collabs. I think they're super positive. Obviously, like you should seize onto those kind of opportunities. Yeah, that would be super cool. I think I guess like, I guess my goal was always to be like self-sufficient on this. And like now that I've done that, I don't exactly know where to go. Like I was like, this was always the goal.
Yeah,
Like
it was like, what's step 2?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think like I'm trying to think more in like small steps. Like maybe the next thing is like get a space, and then maybe I like bring somebody else in. Like I'd really like to like maybe have a partnership.
Oh, are you like solo right now?
I do everything. So it's like a lot. And also it's like hard to like bounce things off of people, and I think
because
obviously
it's your vision.
yeah. And that's great, but like eventually maybe I'd like to have somebody else to kind of like be a partner with me in this. I always thought about like having an employee, but that like kind of doesn't appeal to me as much. Like I'd really like to have somebody like side by side.
Not like I'm the boss, you listen to me.
Totally.
I'll fire you tomorrow if you don't embroider this ugly.
You have a wage of $15 an hour and no benefits.
No benefits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that like more things like come together that way when everybody feels appreciated and like equal. So that's kind of where I want to go with it.
If you had a specific brand you want to collab with, which would it be?
Ooh. Do you know what I really love is like Dolls Kill? Like I'm really into the grungy kind of looks. That's like a huge inspiration for me. So if they ever wanted like something with like
Hear that? Dolls Kill?
Dolls Kill. Something grungy or like cool like that. They always have neat stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Totally.
What's your take on today's weather? It is currently -1 degrees, feels like -11, and it's snowing.
Yeah, the weather's trash. We're in my apartment. Luckily, it's cozy in here.
Cozy.
Yeah, exactly. Poor you had to be on transit today, which is not rad. I love the summer because you can get outside and take pictures. Taking pictures indoors is like shitty.
Depends, but yeah.
Well, you're like a professional photographer. Me on my like Samsung, it's not so great. But I also like the winter because I'm a huge homebody, and I like to be inside. And I also like when this like I love like daylight savings because I like when it's sunnier in the morning and darker at night.
Yeah, I
This
could
is
speak on that, but continue.
Please go.
Continue.
I'm a morning worker, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I work at night better, but like
Really?
Yeah, but like I cannot stand it being 3 p.m. and it's already dark outside kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true.
You just lose. I don't know. You feel like because when it becomes nighttime for me, or like in general for me, like I have my own time schedule.
3 p.m. nighttime.
when it's like dark, it's like, oh, now I'm like thinking of how to sleep, or like I should like just cuddle up, or I should just like work, or versus like the daylight. I work in the day too, but as a photographer, we like our light.
That makes sense.
So when we have less of it, it's like, do I want to do my job anymore, or like, do I have a job? Because at these hours, it's like, not these hours, these months, especially in Canada, anyways, from like September, not even September, like October till maybe March.
Yeah.
It's very dry. You can't do much outside because one, it's
Totally.
cold. 2, there's less light. 3, like, I don't know. It's just those months.
Yeah, it's like you get like 5 hours of like
light.
usable time.
And like sometimes it's snowing. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do then? Like,
No.
Right now, if I was planning a shoot today, I would probably be crying because
Exactly.
weather sucks. It's too snowy. It's too whatever, and I only have so much time. And then at the same time, the clients are just as worse. Not worse, but like they wouldn't want to go outside because it's like, why am I going in this weather for?
For what purpose
Yeah.
is this happening?
So
Where
it's
do you
like-
like to shoot inside? Like, do you have go-to spots?
Mostly Airbnbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Oh my god,
they
I'd never
have
even
a-
thought of that.
they have a vibe. Like
Yeah.
this area has a vibe, so
Totally.
I wouldn't mind shooting in this area too. Um, Others like smaller spots indoors would be like the core Devonian Gardens.
Devonian Gardens, yeah.
Is really like a go-to spot. I don't go there enough because I'm not very. I like to diversify. 'Cause
Yeah.
So many people will shoot there.
It's true.
But yeah, like, yeah, light's a big issue. But,
What is like the vibe of this space? You said it
This
has a
space?
vibe, yeah.
So it's very, as you
Describe.
said, homey,
Mhm.
cozy. It's very like artistic driven. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff on the walls this camera is not getting.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a little cow thing there. There's like paper on the wall, posters. There's a thing that says F Donald Trump. You know, I'm being very PG, but
PG.
we know I swear. Anyway, there's a lot of like stuff going on, and I like that.
Yeah.
You know? It feels lived in. It feels like is it cozy, and like there's just aesthetics and just lots of flora everywhere. Like there's a floor right there. There's one like here, tiny clock. Like it's like vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Shout out to my roommate. She is like a little collector. She loves to like go to markets and like collect all these random things, so they're all over.
Yeah, like if I was when I am going to get my own place, it's gonna look something like this.
Mhm.
You know, it's gonna be very like artsy, like work. You can feel like you could work here and not like not. It's like a cozy Starbucks kind of thing.
Ooh,
You know?
I like that.
Like I've seen, where was it? I saw a snap or like an Insta story about of a McDonald's, and it was so bougie. Just the outside of it, it's like, dude, I want to be in there.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way, like you see this environment, you're like, oh, I want to like work there. I want to chill there. I want to, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the vibe this place gives me.
Yeah, I love that. We
Mhm.
try to keep it super cozy because me and my roommate are both huge homebodies. We have Taurus energy, and we've put it all in this house.
That's crazy. I'm a Sagittarius.
What is the deal with Sagittarius? Tell me all about.
I've been told I'm a Sagittarius. That's all I know about me. Okay, and I believe them. I know it.
I believe it. I believe it.
All I've heard is Taurus and Sagittarius don't get along.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, I wonder why.
I don't know. I do know actually,
Oh.
but my dad is a Taurus as well. So when they told me that, I was like, that's
It makes
completely
sense.
correct, because Sagittarius is, if that's the plural,
Perfect.
are very outgoing, adventurous. They'll do risky stuff.
Oh my god,
once in a while,
yes.
right? Whereas Taurus are very straightforward. They like to like do things the right way. They're like strict about stuff, and like they're against that like wild side. They like want to see it to the chill side. So like whenever I'm doing stuff and my dad's not for it, it's a big issue, and like we
Oh, really?
quarrel. So it's like when my friend told me about this, I'm like, huh, that makes sense why we don't get along like that. But it's like there's different degrees of Sagittarius and Taurus relationships. So like if
Mhm.
it's surface level like this, it can work. Because
Yeah.
my friend's also Taurus that told me that we're good friends.
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
it's like closer family, that's where like the fire can like be there. So
Taurus like to play it safe
Mhm.
most of the time. And I can attest to that. Change is like really hard for me. So I think I'm a full Taurus through and through. But I think that also like Taurus, they're very like agreeable on the surface level. Like they get
Mhm.
along with a lot of
Yeah,
people.
my dad
Just
gets a
like
lot.
exactly. So I would never like cause a conflict with you. Like we fight in my apartment over this interview.
that'd be great. That'd be great content, guys.
Great content.
But no, I was like very like, huh. It makes a lot of sense. And
It
I was
does.
like very I know nothing about star signs and all that astrology, but I was
Mhm.
like, now I want to know what's going on, who I'm like offending
Yeah.
because of my star sign, you know, or why someone's acting a certain way because they're Pisces and they're very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like believe in it?
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
I have no reason not to.
Mhm.
So I'm like, yeah, and for what I've seen so far, it's been accurate. So
Yeah, it's so true. I always wonder if I like project it because I like
Read
think
it or
it's
something.
true or like
But yeah, cause like yeah, when I look at certain concepts of like life and stuff, it's like okay, I personally look at things from like multiple views. Like I look at it from my view, and I look at it from the other person's view, and I look at it from like a third person's view, and I see like what they could think. So like supposing me and you're having a fight, and you think you're right, I think I'm right. Someone else comes in, and now there can be two people that come in. See, that's another fourth view now. So one person could come in and like my side of the things, whereas the other person could come in like your side of things. So like they're gonna favor one of the other. So it's like I always think like that. So I'm always like stuck in my head, and people are like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like there was like a fourth person in this room, like in my head. So,
I'm just like thinking about a lot of things right now.
So it's like I always look at things from like so many perspectives. So I'm never like, if I'm wrong, I'll accept it. If you're right, I'll accept it. You know, if we're both wrong, both right, there's like a degree of rightness and wrongness, I'll accept it. I wouldn't be like, I have to be 100% right.
Yeah, totally.
You know, because that's how like stuff are in life. Like with the star signs, it's like to an extent these are all right, but there's also like certain features that like can change or like can be like slightly different depending on the personality, depending on the relationship. You know, so yeah, that's my take on things.
Interesting. I like it. So I guess I have a question for you because I'm doing some like market research, might as well. Okay. What do you like about my brand?
About your brand?
Yeah.
I like the simplicity.
Digging for compliments.
No, I like the simplicity. It's very, as you said, doll skill edgy to an extent. And it's like almost anyone could wear it. You said it's unisex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost anyone could wear it and feel like, yeah, this is me or this is not me, but who gives a shit, you know?
Yeah.
I can like rock this. Yeah, and like I see it going places because
thank you.
Clearly there's so many people out there already like rock it that I know, so it's like just give it time and like you're chilling. If I were to say changes or like things you could do to make it even better.
Ooh.
I don't know, making like limited edition stuff. Or like changing up the print. I know print is a big thing. Like like if you make a camo, if you make it like striped or checkered.
Totally.
It could be like a different vibe that could go along with it. Cause I saw the Lover top.
Yeah, yeah.
And that instantly for me, cause I'm a Swiftie, I thought about Taylor Swift. Right?
Would not have pegged you, but
obviously. But we also share the same birthday. Anyways.
Sagittarius, right here.
So, what are they talking about? Yeah, the Lover thing.
Yes.
It comes, I think it was a black top or a white top, but it's red text.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very like, okay, that's like blood red, alert, love, bold.
Sure.
But if you like switched it up to be like a pastel pink top, white text, or like again black text.
Yeah.
Give it a different vibe.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Or like, yeah, you could be like, this is a tribute to Taylor Swift, or this is a tribute to one of my music inspirations. Like, you know. So yeah, you could do so much with it with clothing.
Totally. Yeah, and I think it's something that I think about, and then I also am just like, oh, it sucks because I don't like have the space for the inventory for it is the only thing. So I think it's just like figuring out the logistics of it, and then I can expand like product range. But
yeah, I would say like you could start off with like checking out your audience. Like, what is your audience like?
Totally.
You know, if your audience is more pop related versus rock related, okay, now I know I should make pop culture shirts. And then whether they like, I'm just giving examples, Bruno Mars versus Harry Styles, you know, you make stuff with the Bruno Mars lyrics or something kinky to Bruno Mars.
Totally.
You know, and then that's how you know. And then again, it's limited edition, so you know it's for a limited amount of people, and only like so many people are gonna buy it. So like you don't have to like think too much about inventory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
So that could be a thing.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think that the colors are all super inspiring too. Like making a black tea is never going to be as fun as like making an orange tea.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And it goes with people's personality. I know a singer. Her name is Soleil.
Cool.
And she wears hella colorful stuff. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it fits her vibe because she's known as Soleil the sun, and like sun's bright.
Yeah,
sun's
yeah.
colorful. Sun's so like it shows off a different person's like whole like vibe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can go wild with it. Speaking of musical loves, as Taylor Swift, what kind of music do you like?
That's so funny because I've never heard the term Swiftie before, but that's
Not?
really amazing. No.
You've never heard Swiftie?
No, do I live under a rock? Like,
like Swifties like a common thing.
Oh. Wow, maybe not the circles I run in, but it sounds pretty cool. Musically, I listen to a lot. I like made a thank you next shirt because obviously Ariana was a huge deal this year. When I am like feeling emotional, I listen to a lot of like punk and indie, and it is interesting because like the thing that inspires me the most about music is always the lyrics. So a really good line in a song can like make or break a song for me.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. What else? These are probably bands you've like never heard of. Front Bottoms is my favorite band.
Okay.
They're kind of like a punk, indie, whiny band. They're fairly popular. I also like Remember Sports. They're like a female fronted band. Super punk. Listen to it through every breakup I've ever had kind of thing. So yeah, I really like music like that. Angsty. Yeah.
So do you think, other than the Ariana Grande, do you think the music inspires what you write on your shirts?
Definitely. Or at least it can like inspire like the imagery on my shirts. Like, I make this like cloud shirt with like little raindrops, and there's like a sign, or there's a song, and it goes like, "Is it raining where you are? Is the only thing I could think to ask. Nothing ever hurts so bad as the no you said back." And so like just like kind of stuff like that will like inspire my imagery or like words on the shirts. But I like to keep it simple, so.
Yeah. Simple is key.
Mm-hmm.
Simple can be a lot. Minimalism.
Minimalism is like really in right now, which is great for me because it's a lot less work.
No, I feel that. I wish I could apply that to like stuff I do, but
Yeah.
here we are in this bougie house, you know, lots of stuff going on.
I was about to tell you my unpopular opinion. Okay. You guys. Unpopular opinion. I just like worry about the like little dogs. You know the dogs that like are like purebred and you're not supposed to breed like and they like are like all pudgy like the pug dogs and they can't breathe and I'm like, just stop breeding them. They don't like, they can't survive in the world. That's my unpopular opinion. I think they're so cute, but I'm just like worried about them. Like
I feel that, even though I'm not for breeding in general, because
Yeah.
it's like if it's forced, it's like forced love. It's like
No.
it's like forced arranged marriage is what I mean. It's like I don't even love this person. Why am I married with them? Like, oh, because their family and our family will become rich when we're together. And that's like, what?
That is dog breeding.
That is
This
forced
dog
love.
family and this dog family will become rich when
With like good genetics, and it's like, okay, but can you handle it? No, you know. So it wouldn't be fun. I also find it interesting. I can find two totally separate concepts and make them like work, as I just did with that whole arranged marriage thing. That was like on the spot thing.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like I think that's how life works. Like everything is connected, no matter how big or small it is,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter how much we want it not to be connected.
Yeah, that's very true. Whoa, so deep. We're in it deep now.
We're in deep. We had our cup of LSD, and we're now thinking overboard. Anyways, no, I find that funny. Do you smoke at all?
I don't smoke.
Okay.
Do you smoke?
No.
Wow.
Do you drink a lot?
I like to drink,
Okay.
but I'm a socially awkward person, so it's like coping
Fair.
mechanism.
Fair. I was gonna bring up the not argument, but like people. What was I gonna bring up with smoking? I don't know. Something about smoking. I think it opens you more and you think a lot more. Is what most people think happens when you
Mm-hmm.
consume the marijuanas, but some people have different takes. Some people lose it. Some people fall asleep. Some people,
Yeah.
you know. But I find it interesting. Like it's a heightened version of ourselves. So we're either thinking better, or like not thinking better, or we're like, well, no, we are thinking better, but what we're thinking is dependent on our emotion before we took the substance.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you're like a heightened version of like your sober self at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
So like, the same person could take it another time and be totally different. It's almost like a third personality. I could say.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
But I don't need that because I'm just genuinely weird and like think too much.
The kid doesn't need it. He's already a heightened version of himself.
Like I've been in social situations where there was no weed involved, and I'm just talking, and people are like, "Dude, did you blaze up before you got here?" I'm like, "Nah, bro."
You're like saying some shit right now.
I don't remember why. It's like, dude, like my mind hasn't been the same after that one sentence you said 2 hours ago. I'm like, okay.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Aw.
I forgot what I did the other day. We read like cards to like read our futures or whatever. I read it with a
Like
friend.
tarot cards?
Tarot cards. That's what
Ooh.
it's called. And so I read my future. Kind of scary. Don't want to reenact that. But I read my friend's future thing, and she was like, one of the cards said, "You will come to peace with." Well, no, she was telling me how she had gone to, what are they called? Gypsies? Fortune tellers?
Fortune tellers?
There we go, gypsies. And she was like, she never, at first she didn't believe in all that stuff, but she was like, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for you. And she was like, you're gonna do this, this, and this, and in 2 years you're gonna have your life figured out. And 2 years has passed, and everything came through except for that point that you would have your life figured out.
Yeah.
Right? So she
That's
was
like a bold statement to say that you'll like have your life figured out.
So like, at that point, she was like, I believed everything she said, but like that one thing didn't stick. And me, being the vague guy I was like, what if your life being figured out isn't the same as what you think life being figured out is? Because you could be like, oh, I have my life figured out when I have a big house, I'm rich, I have a family. No.
Yeah.
What if at that point, 2 years ago, you were thinking of like killing yourself or like switching jobs or like going through some anxiety issues, and like now you're at peace with yourself? What if that's what figuring yourself out was? And she was like, whoa.
That was it.
And she was like, that was so deep. I was like, yep, that's how I think. So yeah, you never know.
Never know.
I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
We've gotten into like a very witchy place with this interview. I feel like we've like done astrology and fortune tellers.
Oh, guys, this is not a clothing thing anymore. This is about like witchcraft and.
Think about the big picture of the universe.
Like stars and like stuff floating in this video, just on rotation.
I love that.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this chat. chat. I'm gonna end it there because my camera can only take so much.
Yes, fair.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will obviously what's the word? Fudge, I forget words easily. Rekindle this conversation
Ooh.
another time. Maybe in
Yeah.
a few years, maybe a few months, you never know. Might be a smaller interview, might be just a recap. You might see her at a fashion show, vending again.
Who knows where the future will take us?
No one really knows. You never know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet, but yeah, that was good.
Oh, okay, good.
Like